The government exchange may not match the list the actual insurance companies have. The chaos and confusion over the costs keep building, and ultimately you are going to pay the price. Here to help break it all down are the Weekly Standard's online editor, Daniel Halper, and Fox Business correspondent, Rich Edson. Daniel, I want to start with you. We get so many different numbers when we talk about enrollees for the Affordable Health Care Act, Obamacare. What's the real number? Because just because you enroll doesn't mean you've bought insurance, right?
That's right. The real number is when you first pay for your premium. That's when you have insurance. It's just like anything else that you're getting covered for, anything else that you're purchasing. You don't have it until you pay for it. So until you've made that first payment, I don't believe you have health insurance.
So do we have any numbers, Rich, on who actually has made those payments and how many people we need to make those payments to make the system work as intended?
No, and we don't even know when the deadline is for that payment. Now, the insurance companies for the federal exchanges have pushed that payment deadline back to January 10th, and then you can retroactively get health insurance. So let's say on January 5th you decide to go to the doctor, the insurance company will cover it if you eventually pay that premium by January 10th. But that's just for the federal layout. States have different rules on this one, different exchanges on this one. The bulk of the states do participate in the federal exchanges, but it's a bit unclear as to when exactly in each state you have to do it by, and you have to research it by your state.
I am totally lost. How is anybody going to make heads or tails of this? Rich, I mean, how are the insurance companies going to be able to figure out who they have to bill to retroactively cover whatever it was they went to get covered for?
Well, they're hoping the system works. And another problem with the insurance companies is for the first couple of months that healthcare.gov was operational, there were problems on the back end when you would complete your form, you'd fill it all out. The website and the system was supposed to send that information to the insurance companies. Well, they had a major problem getting incorrect information, incomplete information. The administration says they've cut back on that and those errors, but we're still not sure exactly how much bad information the insurance companies have gotten and what exactly happens on January 1st. On Wednesday, when the insurance coverage kicks in, that's when we're really going to know if the insurance companies got the information right and have you actually insured and covered.
Daniel, there's this expression, they're looking for the phantom and the ghost enrollees. What does that mean? Can they find them, and who are they?
Well, that's just it. I mean, have you ever seen somebody hold up their health insurance card and say, see, this here, I have Obamacare? I haven't, and I follow this pretty closely, and I know you do. It's not to say they don't exist, but that they say 1 million to 1.5 million people have signed up for Obamacare, I think is a bit of a misnomer. I think we're going to discover that people who thought they had health care don't actually have health care, and I think, we're going to see major confusion come January 1st and beyond. It's only going to get worse.
So if it gets worse, let's get into something we all understand. There's a certain number of people who have to buy insurance, not enroll, but actually pay the premiums for this to work, for the insurance companies to be able to provide insurance. Will we meet those numbers, Daniel?
It's not looking promising. They say 7 million by March. So best case scenario is we have 1 million, 1.5 million people who have paid for health insurance. That's the best case scenario at this moment. I don't know how they get an additional 5.5 million in the next 3 months when the first 3 months have been so pathetic and have had so much attention. Now, of course, they have all these planned campaigns of the insurance companies are going to be running ads. There's going to be a lot of ads on television. Does that change people? If you wanted health insurance and you haven't gotten it at this point, are you now going to get it? There are a lot of questions that we just don't know the answer to now, but it doesn't look promising for the administration.
Rich, how does the administration go forward? Will they need to get money to prop up this system in addition to what's already been allocated?
Well, there can't be a separate appropriation. That's not going to pass Congress. They're not going to need Republicans to help on that front. There are some fail-safes in the law that if you are insuring people who are older and sicker, the federal government can, in some cases, go in and supplement that and make sure that companies aren't really losing too much money because the younger, healthier people aren't going into the pool. That becomes a more likely scenario, that backstop in the law. It's already written and passed, because what the administration has done is allow, if you've been kicked off your plan because the law phased out your insurance, because it wasn't up to standard, you can go back and now buy a catastrophic plan. That's a change the administration announced a few weeks ago. The problem with that, it's a bare bones plan, it's a cheaper plan, it's not as expensive. What the administration wants, what the system is designed to do, is to get younger, healthier people to buy more expensive insurance so they help supplement and subsidize the people who are older and sicker. And that might not happen now with all these changes we've seen and the low enrollment numbers.
So, Daniel, I'm going to give you the last word. If I'm one of those people Rich just identified, I'm under 30, which I'm not, but if I were under 30 and what's the incentive for me to do this? I would think it's best to just sit out and see how the cards fall.
Well, yeah, they can't discriminate against you if you get sick. That's the whole point of Obamacare, is that anybody can enter on the exchange. So why, I mean, if I'm fortunately covered by my employer, and so I don't know, but I don't understand why somebody would enter in this exchange knowing that once they get sick, they could just enter in the exchange. The flip side is that since I'm covered under my employer, and a lot of people at home are covered under their employer, that whole thing hasn't even been touched yet. That's the problems for the next year when the business mandate goes in, and that's a whole other can of worms that we just don't know what's going to happen.
We will keep talking about this. Daniel Harper, Rich Edson, as they say in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The answer to all this is 42. Thank you both very much. Up next, know who the real experts are when it comes to rising inflation. Typical American moms. They've been feeling and seeing the squeeze more than anybody else this year, but we'll tell you what we can look forward to in 2014.